Almost everyone believes they want the same thing, happiness. But strangely, the harder many people chase happiness, the more tired they become. Tonight, let's talk about the quiet trap of chasing happiness and why slowing down sometimes brings us closer to it. Most people share one quiet desire: to be happy. It doesn't matter where someone lives, what language they speak, or what kind of life they have. Somewhere inside, every human being carries this simple wish to feel content, to feel that life is good, to feel that something inside finally settles. Even people who seem lost, angry, or deeply unhappy still carry that same desire. In fact, sometimes the more desperate someone becomes, the more intensely they search for happiness, because it is almost impossible not to want it, and this very human desire is easy to influence. If you promise someone happiness, they will listen. For a very long time, the modern world has learned how to do exactly that. Advertising, marketing, and even social media often send the same quiet message again and again. Happiness is just one step away, one purchase away, one upgrade away, one achievement away. Buy this phone, drive this car, live in this apartment, wear this brand, and happiness will follow. Sometimes the price is small, sometimes it is enormous, but the promise is always the same. Of course, most people know, deep down, that buying something does not truly create lasting happiness. And yet, we still feel pulled toward the promise. We imagine how it will feel, the excitement, the pride, the sense of finally having what we wanted. So we think about it. We compare. We save money. Sometimes we even stand in line for hours just to obtain something new, not because we truly need it, but because we hope it will give us a feeling we have been missing. And often, the cost is not only money. We pay with time, with attention, with emotional energy, hours spent researching, comparing, planning, days spent thinking about what we still don't have. Slowly, without noticing, a large portion of our inner life becomes focused on obtaining things that promise happiness. A phone, a car, a bigger home, a certain level of status. Then something else quietly enters the picture. Comparison, because somewhere, someone always seems to have more, a better apartment, a newer phone, a more successful career, a more exciting life. Even if we already have enough, comparison creates the feeling that we are somehow behind, that someone else is living the life we should have by now, and suddenly, happiness begins to look like a race. The problem with this race is simple. There is no finish line, because every time we reach one milestone, the horizon quietly moves again. A new model appears, a new trend begins, a new expectation forms, and what once seemed like success becomes ordinary. So the pursuit continues, not because we are greedy or ungrateful, but because the system around us constantly reminds us that happiness is always somewhere ahead. Over time, this pursuit becomes exhausting, not dramatically, quietly, a constant feeling of needing more improvement, more progress, more proof that our life is moving in the right direction. And even when life is good, the mind often struggles to rest, because there is always another step to take. But what if happiness was never meant to be chased this way? What if happiness was not a prize waiting at the end of effort? What if it was something quieter? Something that appears when the race slows down? There is an interesting pattern in human experience. Many of the moments people remember as truly meaningful did not come from achieving something spectacular. They came from something simple. A calm conversation with someone we care about. a quiet walk outside, a peaceful evening when nothing urgent was happening. Moments when, for a brief time, the mind stopped measuring life, stopped comparing, stopped asking whether we had enough. In those moments, happiness was not something we achieved, it was something we noticed, something that was already present. This does not mean that goals are wrong. It does not mean that ambition or progress should disappear. Human beings naturally want to grow, to improve their lives, to create things that matter. But when happiness becomes the reward that must be earned through endless effort, something inside begins to tighten. Life becomes heavier than it needs to be. A different approach is possible. Instead of chasing happiness, we can learn to create space for it. Space in our attention, space in our time, space in our expectations, because happiness rarely arrives when we are pushing for it. More often, it appears when the pressure softens. This is one reason why quiet moments matter so much. Moments when we step away from constant stimulation, from comparison, from the endless flow of things that promise a better future. In that quiet space, something surprising often happens. The mind slows down, the nervous system settles, and suddenly, life feels a little more complete than it did a moment ago. You may notice this on an ordinary evening. Nothing special has happened, no big achievement, no major breakthrough, just a calm moment, and yet something inside feels lighter, more at ease. This is not the happiness that advertising promises. It is quieter, less dramatic, but often far more real. So perhaps the question is not how to chase happiness more effectively. Perhaps the question is how to stop running long enough to notice what is already here, because the desire to be happy will always exist. That is part of being human, but the race we build around that desire is optional. Tonight, you don't need to solve the question of happiness. You don't need to plan a better life. You don't need to compare where you are with anyone else. For a moment, you can simply pause and notice that life, right now, might already contain more than your mind allows you to see. This has been Evening Reset, quiet wisdom for tired people. If you'd like more evenings like this, you're welcome to come back. Good night.